From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Primetime News at 9.
We start with breaking news. A man taken to the hospital after being shot by deputies just hours ago. Logan County deputies were called out to an Edmond neighborhood on reports of a man threatening to kill himself. Fox 25 Sharday Gray is live on the scene with the latest details. Sharday.
Well, Maria, it's still a slightly active scene here. You can see that right here in the background. Logan County deputies, as well as other law enforcement agencies, have this neighborhood blocked off. And that's all because a man threatened to kill himself. Now, the OSBI say that a woman called. The call came from a man's wife this afternoon. And they say that she told dispatchers her husband was threatening to kill himself. When Logan County deputies arrived, they found a man holding a knife up to his chin with both hands. When it seemed like he was about to act on his threat, the deputy shot the man in the hand. He then dropped the knife and was arrested. He was taken to a local hospital in stable condition. Now, OSBI took over the investigation so they can send a report to the Logan County District Attorney. Then the district attorney will determine if that shooting was justified. Maria.
Right now, thousands of acres are burned in northeastern Oklahoma after massive wildfires. You're taking a live look at our social media tool, Banjo. These images from Mark Rivard. Firefighters working near Hominy last night. That fire burning up to 10,000 acres. Officials say no homes or buildings were damaged and no one was hurt. The Oklahoma National Guard used helicopters to drop water on the flames. A large fire in Mayes County contained tonight after 300 acres burned. The fire started on Wednesday, and 3 days later, it was still firing back up. Last night, Amy Jackson lives just across the road from another fire, potentially taking over her home.
If it hits this grass, I'm scared it'll keep on going. Have stuff set in the hallways, ready to go, important papers, important items set and ready to go in case they tell us to evacuate.
Firefighters say a small fire can get out of control in just seconds, and we've got your back with how to stay safe here. Emergency management says that you should avoid outdoor burning at all costs. Something as little as a cigarette butt can turn into a huge fire. Now, before starting any type of fire, officials are asking that you call your emergency manager first. Fox 25 Chief Meteorologist Jeff George here with us now. And how long are we going to be looking at this continued fire threat?
Well, the great news, Maria, is that the fire danger goes completely away tomorrow, and it stays away most of this week. Let's go ahead and take a look. So the fire danger was elevated today, no doubt, but low fire danger all the way through Thursday, goes up a little bit on Friday. But our main concern this week will be some winter weather coming in on Tuesday. Here's a cold front right now sitting down to the south. This came through this morning, and it was noticeably colder today. It was windy. Our next winter weather maker is to the northwest. When that swings by on Tuesday, rain, snow, ice, all that stuff is possible for Oklahoma, and that hasn't happened for a while. So down to 16 tonight in Oklahoma City, seriously chilly and dry under partly cloudy skies. No worries tomorrow, but that travel will be tricky on Tuesday. How much snow and ice are we going to get? Your Storm Watch 7-day in just a few minutes.
Tonight, an Oklahoma City mother is asking for your help in finding her son's killer. Police found Brian Sweet shot to death near Northeast 36 and Hiwassee Road on January 1st. His mom braved the cold this afternoon, passing out flyers asking the Choctaw community if they know who took her son's life. Fox 25 Sharday Gray has that mother's message.
I have good and bad days.
It's been more than a month since Gwen Sweet's son, Brian Sweet, was found shot to death.
It was real hard at night for a long time, for at least the first 3 weeks, and it's getting a little better.
But that pain hasn't gone away, so she's taking matters into her own hands, hitting the streets of Choctaw, going door to door to see if anyone can help find her son's killer.
I'm just kind of canvassing the area out here, passing these out, and hopefully somebody might know something.
Sweet tells Fox 25 she believes someone followed her son home after leaving his girlfriend's house.
And we're going to pass out flyers in that area to let them know that there's someone in your neighborhood that's a murderer.
This heartbroken mother tells us her son just made department manager at a local Walmart and always had a peaceful demeanor.
He would always inspire people. He prayed with people. He was just an encourager and always uplifting. You know, if you were down, he wanted to make sure that your day got better.
She says her son was in an interracial relationship and believes that might have something to do with his death.
I'm thinking so. That's what my heart tells me. Now, might not be right, but that's what I feel.
Brian was shot right outside of his mother's house through the passenger side window multiple times, and she was the one who found him.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
Police have made no arrest in Brian's death, which is why it's so important to this mother to find that suspect.
It was a horrific crime. It was just intentional, on purpose, and ugly. And I think that everyone needs to know that there's someone out there that's done this.
That was Fox 25's Sharday Gray reporting. Now, if you have any information about the gunman in this deadly shooting, you should call the Oklahoma City Police. That number for the homicide tip line is 297-1200, and we also have that number for you on our website, okcfox.com. New tonight, a woman has died after a head-on crash near Seminole. OHP says Patricia Estep was driving around 1:30 in the morning when she was hit by a truck that was stopped in the middle of the road. That truck had stopped after hitting a cow on the road, and the driver had gotten out of the truck. Authorities say that Estep was not wearing a seatbelt. An investigation underway in South Carolina after 2 were killed and more than 100 injured in a train crash involving Amtrak and freight trains. Kim Hutcherson has more.
An Amtrak train headed to Florida from New York and carrying nearly 150 people crashed into a CSX freight train, derailing several passenger cars and the lead engine in Casey, South Carolina, early Sunday. 2 people were killed and more than 100 others injured. Amtrak identified the dead as the train's engineer and the train's conductor. No one appeared to have been aboard the CSX train at the time of impact. South Carolina's governor addressed the situation.
The CSX was on the track that it was supposed to be on. It appears that Amtrak was on the wrong track.
The National Transportation Safety Board is on the scene investigating. A source with knowledge of the investigation says they're focusing on the signal systems and whether they were working properly. This is the latest deadly incident involving an Amtrak train. In December, an Amtrak train derailed near DuPont, Washington, killing 3. I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
New tonight, an Oklahoma lawmaker is pushing legislation to have sex offenders undergo chemical castration. State Representative Rick West filed the bill. If approved, Oklahoma would join 7 other states with laws allowing chemical treatments that reduce male testosterone for certain sex offenders. Experts say the punishment is rarely carried out, one describing it as a half-fantasy version of criminal justice. Also new tonight, 2 national civil rights groups have joined in a lawsuit against Oklahoma sheriffs. The suit accuses dozens of sheriffs, judges, and court clerks of operating a debt collection scheme preying on poor people. The suit claims that those people are being sent to jail if they can't afford to pay court costs. The civil rights groups are trying to halt further arrests of this kind until the case can go before a judge. New details tonight. We're getting new reaction from both sides of the aisle over the House Intelligence Committee memo released on Friday. We're giving you a live look at Washington tonight, and that memo alleges that senior officials at the FBI abused government surveillance powers during the 2016 presidential campaign. Fox News correspondent Molly Henneberg has more.
A key point in this memo is that Republicans say the secret FISA courts were not told that the dossier presented as evidence was paid for by Democrats. That dossier, the memo says, helped secure a warrant for the FBI to spy on Carter Page, a Trump advisor. It was material collected by a former British spy who was funded by the Democratic National Committee and the Hillary Clinton campaign. Republicans say the FISA courts were not informed of that, but Democrats say there was some disclosure.
It is relevant information to alert the FISA court. Is there a political motivation? Was there a political actor involved? And the court was notified a political actor was involved.
It's really bad precedent and unprecedented to not tell a court that a source has this level of bias. I mean, look at just the disclosure of who paid for it. They could have easily said it was the DNC and Hillary Clinton. That would have been really easy.
There's also some dispute over what now former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe told lawmakers. The memo indicates McCabe said no surveillance warrant would have been sought without the dossier. Not true, say Democrats.
I was there. I was part of the questioning. I promise you that the intent of his answers was that we would not have gone forward were it not for this dossier.
Well, I asked Andy McCabe, that is not what he said. They have the transcript. I don't understand why they wouldn't quote from the transcript.
Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer urged President Trump to back Democrats' efforts to get their own memo out. House Intelligence Chairman Republican Devin Nunes says his committee will vote on it once the Democrats' memo goes through all the normal review procedures. In Washington, Molly Henneberg, Fox News.
Happening tomorrow, Governor Mary Fallin will discuss the biggest issues Oklahoma is facing in her final State of the State address. Those issues include a pay raise for teachers, possible tax hikes to pay for it, and the question of how to solve the state budget hole. Fallin is also expected to urge lawmakers to continue their efforts to curb the state's growing prison population. The state legislature will also convene tomorrow for its 2018 session. Lawmakers still need to figure out a budget plan. 3 major agencies are still not fully funded since the cigarette tax was ruled unconstitutional last year. We've got your back, and Fox 25 will be at the address and bring you full coverage online and tomorrow on Fox 25 News at 5. Changes starting tomorrow that could affect when you need to put your trash out. The Oklahoma City government is rolling out new trash collection days. The changes will affect nearly 91,000 households. We want to give you a look at how you can find out if the days that are changing are going to be affecting you. We've got your back with that. I pulled up the city website. Here's a look at what you can do. All you have to do is put in your address. Then your information will come up, including your new trash days. The city says that it wanted to create the most effective and efficient trash schedule possible. Consolidating the routes will keep costs low and help the city prepare for its new recycling program. We've got this information for you with a link on our website. That's okcfox.com. New tonight, nearly 25 dogs are in need of help in Hendricks after their owner died, leaving them to fend for themselves in a wooded area. Someone who lives in that area became aware of the dogs and has been trying to rescue them. The sheriff's office says the dogs now belong to the man's family, but the animals are not in good shape. Now people in the community are trying to help.
It looks like a dump site, but this could have been someone's pets, that someone lived here and, benefit of the doubt, they could have been taken care of. But at this point, with as bad shape as they're in, we do need help. Anything is better than nothing. Donations, whether that be dog food, dog water, kennels.
The sheriff says that if the man's family doesn't take responsibility for these animals, they could possibly face criminal charges for animal cruelty. Happening tomorrow, a man charged in the death of a 2-year-old boy in Bethany will go to trial. Reports show Dustin Davidson was watching his girlfriend's son in 2015 when the boy was injured. He told 911 dispatchers different stories about how he was hurt. Police say the boy suffered a skull fracture and had bruises on several parts of his body. He later died at the hospital. Davidson is charged with first-degree murder. He'll be in court for a jury trial tomorrow at 9 a.m. Happening tomorrow, we've got your back with a way to help people in need because of this year's awful flu season. Southwestern Oklahoma State University is hosting a blood drive on the Weatherford campus. The Oklahoma Blood Institute says the flu epidemic is affecting the blood supply because many donors are getting sick. The drive will be from 11 until 4 tomorrow in the Wellness Center, and you can also get your flu shot while you're there. Coming up, if you already do have the flu, what are the signs that could turn that diagnosis more dangerous? We've got your back with the signs of complications to look out for to make sure that you or your loved one make a full recovery.
And don't forget that we've got your latest news, traffic, and weather every morning. Start your day with Chris Stanford and Jasmine Anderson from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Good Day OK. From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Primetime News at 9.
It's not too late to get your flu shot. That's what healthcare workers are telling people across the nation. But what do you do if you're already sick and worried about those complications? We've got your back. Fox's Alex Rinaldo talks to 2 health professionals on what to look out for.
We're well into what doctors are calling the most severe flu season since 2009. But have we hit the peak yet?
You don't know until you're coming down. But the good news is we're seeing less absenteeism in our school districts, which is always kind of a good sign.
In Appleton, City Health Director Kurt Egebrecht says so far 38 people have been hospitalized this season with flu. Dr. Seth Udlis with SSM Health says it's similar in the Fond du Lac area.
There's been several dozen hospitalizations from the flu.
And there's still several weeks left in the season.
April is still a time that we see flu circulating.
The health professionals say there is still time to get the flu shot.
What we have seen across the country is those who are hospitalized or worse, having deaths, especially in children, they haven't been vaccinated. So it's still really important.
They say it is not 100% effective, but can help you even if you do get sick.
It really minimizes the severity of it.
But flu shot or not, Udlis says it's important to wash your hands and any surfaces that are often touched to prevent spreading the virus. He tells us there are also several signs you need to watch for if you do get sick.
In adults, any difficulty breathing or shortness of breath, pain in your chest, dizziness, confusion, severe or persistent vomiting, or flu symptoms that seem to get better and then all of a sudden come back with a worse fever or cough. And in children, any fast breathing, trouble breathing, turning blue, not drinking enough fluids, not waking up or interacting, or being very irritable.
If any of that happens, Udlis advises a trip to the emergency room. In Appleton, Alex Rinaldo.
As flu season continues to spread across the country, the illness is having an effect on business. More people calling out of work, lowering the workforce for some businesses. More people with the flu also means less customers in stores, translating to fewer dollars. Experts say this year's flu could sideline nearly 18 million workers, resulting in over $15 billion of lost productivity.
It's a big struggle in a boutique like this because we have such a small staff, and every person who comes in is really important to the staff. Absolutely, there's less people coming in the store because of the flu.
Health officials do say that it is still best to stay at home from work if you think you have the flu. We've got your back tonight with a warning to look out for a message circulating on Facebook. It's a video that appears to show child porn. Authorities say if you receive this video, don't view it, don't share it. Instead, report it to police and to Facebook immediately, and then you should delete it right away. Sharing child pornography, even in the hopes of bringing someone to justice, is a crime, and you could be charged.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're having a real nice weekend. For the kids at the bus stop in the morning, make sure they cover up and bundle up everything. We're going to be in the teens with wind chills in the single digits. So we start off in the teens and 20s, 41 at noon. So a pretty chilly recess, very chilly and windy even tomorrow afternoon. Highs only in the middle to upper 40s, but those strong winds will make it feel even colder all throughout the afternoon, somewhere in the 30s, a mix of clouds and sunshine throughout the day tomorrow. But all that winter weather comes in on Tuesday. We will talk about that and much more in just a few minutes.
A big weekend at the movies at the box office coming up. We'll tell you the biggest hits and the biggest flops. Plus, an effort to help our troops feel the love this Valentine's Day, how elementary school kids are trying to make sure veterans feel special this holiday.
From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Primetime News at 9.
Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and a local organization is using the day to help out Oklahomans in need. Bouquets from Curbside Chronicle are available for pre-order right now. The program helps find work for those transitioning out of homelessness. The bouquets are being put together with the help from a local florist, the Plant Shop, and the manager says they are glad to be involved.
Being able to have something where they know they're involved in such a big group and something that's going to bring joy into so many people's homes, I think that kind of really reels them in. They enjoy it so much because they know that they are giving something that's going into someone's home that they're going to cherish for that holiday.
Orders should be placed by this Tuesday on curbsideflowers.org to guarantee the flowers by Valentine's Day. And pop-up shops will sell flowers in the Plaza District and in Leadership Square. We've put a link for you on where you can order. That's on our website, okcfox.com. In recognition of Valentine's Day, some school kids in Washington state took the time to spread some love. More than a dozen elementary schools took part in the annual Valentine's for Veterans program. They made handcrafted Valentine's cards to give to our troops and first responders, thanking them for all of their hard work.
Students say, I want to be a Marine, I want to be a firefighter, my dad's in the Army. So it's a real bonding time for our school, and it's just a great way for us to thank them, not just Valentine's Day, but pretty much 365 days a year.
This is the second year the kids have written cards for vets. Seattle's VA said that they received so many cards last year that they ended up sending some to other facilities. A very special night for a teenager with autism as she scores a basket during a high school game in Kentucky. Kristen Shoes is a student in her school's Function Mental Disability Unit. She's developed a close friendship with a senior who plays on the girls basketball team and serves as a student aide in Shoes' gym class. She invited Shoes to participate in her team's senior night ceremony. Kristen is made an honorary team captain for the night, and she wore the #1 jersey. Kristen ended up making that first shot you saw there right at the start of the game, and when it swished through the net, Kristen and the crowd were all thrilled. Changes to how you can pay for a popular shopping site online. Coming up, we've got your back with how eBay is switching things up.
And Tuesday could be a little messy. In the morning, we have all that precipitation coming in from the west and from the south. And by Tuesday afternoon, we're looking at a winter mix of sleet, ice, and snow all throughout west, central, and northern Oklahoma, to include Oklahoma City. How much ice and snow are we going to get? All those totals and numbers in your Storm Watch 7 Day at 9:33.
In business news, the Federal Reserve is dropping the hammer on Wells Fargo Bank following its fake account scandal. The Fed said Friday that Wells Fargo will not be allowed to grow any bigger. That is until it proves that it has cleaned up its act. Wells Fargo has admitted that its workers created 3.5 million potentially fake bank accounts. The bank also forced more than 500,000 customers to buy car insurance they didn't need. Wells Fargo agreed in advance to the Fed's conditions. eBay has announced it will replace PayPal as its main payment processor beginning in 2020. eBay will replace PayPal with Adyen as its primary payments provider. PayPal shares took a tumble following the decision, while eBay stock rose to record high levels. Adyen is a small startup payment company that's based out of the Netherlands, valued at $2.3 billion. New tonight, the Pentagon unveiling its new nuclear weapons strategy, and although it does not call for any net increase on nuclear weapons in the U.S., it shows President Trump taking a tougher stance on nuclear threats posed by Russia and North Korea. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively has more from Washington.
The new nuclear posture review unveiled by the Trump administration takes a stronger stance against Russia, saying it must be clear to the Russians that any threat of an attack on U.S. allies would come at a dire cost. It also endorses following existing arms control agreements, including the New START treaty that limits the two countries to 700 deployed launchers and 1,550 strategic nuclear warheads. The deadline for that is Monday. The U.S. says it's met the limit since last August and wants to make sure the Russians are in compliance. The review mostly follows the strategy laid out by the Obama administration, including modernizing the nuclear arsenal. But the review also recommends adding more submarine-launched nuclear capabilities. President Trump spoke about that in his State of the Union address.
As part of our defense, we must modernize and rebuild our nuclear arsenal, hopefully never having to use it, but making it so strong and so powerful that it will deter any acts of aggression.
House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi lashed out against the new review. She warned President Trump is pushing a stunning reversal of our nation's long-standing commitment to advance a nuclear-free future. Pelosi also warned the new posture would ramp up warhead production and threaten millions of lives. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
House Speaker Paul Ryan has deleted his tweet about the GOP tax reform after facing some backlash. He mentioned a news report about a secretary who gets an extra $1.50 a week because of tax cuts. But Ryan then took fire from people who accused him of just being out of touch. They said that an extra $1.50 a week is not much of a raise. In entertainment news, Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle scored a victory during big game weekend. Rick Damigella has the final score at the weekend box office.
Christian Bale's Western drama Hostels lost yardage, dropping from 3rd into 5th place with $5.5 million, while The Greatest Showman huddled in 4th place on ticket sales of $7.8 million.
They want me to reconstruct the rooms that they died in. Then they can enter our world.
Helen Mirren's Winchester, based on the legend of the Winchester Mystery House, took the field in 3rd place. The weekend's only new wide-release movie bowed to $9.3 million. Maze Runner: The Death Cure fumbled into 2nd place with $10.2 million.
That can't be good. There's no way that's good news.
Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle scored a touchdown by moving back into 1st place after dropping to 2nd last week. The action comedy marched to victory, adding $11 million to its total, which is now over $352 million domestically. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Good evening, everybody. It's cold, it's breezy, it's mostly cloudy all across Oklahoma, Oklahoma City that is, and really all across the state as well. This is our Air Comfort Solutions WeatherBug Network, and the temperatures right now are in the teens and 20s. It's the coldest up north, and we're heading down to 16 tonight. In Oklahoma City, of course, that's seriously chilly, partly to mostly cloudy skies overnight, teens and 20s, and it will be the coldest to the northeast, maybe some single digits, but it does warm up as we head throughout the week. Here we go. Tomorrow morning in the teens, 17 at 6 o'clock, bitterly cold and breezy, so that'll make it feel a lot chillier throughout the day. We'll hit a 35 at 11, noon, 40, and then those 40s in the afternoon will feel like the 30s because those winds will be huffing and puffing from the south. Highs in central Oklahoma, somewhere in the 40s. We'll have some 50s out west, but on Tuesday, strong cold front comes in, and that kicks off quite a bit of winter precipitation. Now, all this precip that you see here will be on the light side. So Oklahoma City, most of central Oklahoma going south, a mix of freezing rain and rain because temperatures will be somewhere in the low to mid 30s. Some places near or below freezing. Now from west central towards north central Oklahoma, like Clinton, Weatherford, Watonga, Enid, Stillwater, Ponca City, freezing rain and sleet, very light, and some light snow or flurries to the northwest. Ice accumulations, a glaze to about a 1/4 inch, and that 1/4 inch of ice mostly on the elevated surfaces like bridges and overpasses, power lines, so some power outages are possible on Tuesday all throughout the day, even in the evening. And again, not a whole heck of a lot of snow, a light dusting to the northwest, but travel will be tricky throughout your Tuesday, and not everyone will see winter precipitation, but most of us will see some sort of combination, only light amounts overall. But as we know, a little ice and sleet can make for that tricky travel. So expect travel delays on Tuesday, morning, noon, and night. Take extra caution, especially on those bridges and overpasses. Make sure you leave early and give yourself some extra drive time. I think we're pretty much stuck in the 30s all day on Tuesday with those strong winds that'll make it feel a lot colder. Then we slowly warm up on Wednesday and Thursday, 42 Wednesday, and 50s and 60s as we end the week. So Friday looking really good, 62. That's when the fire danger elevates a little bit, but a strong cold front comes in and puts an end to that. No precipitation this weekend, but much chillier temperatures with highs in the 40s and lows below freezing in the 20s and 30s.
A new flying car, you heard right, takes to the skies for the first time. Coming up, we've got your back inside this futuristic vehicle. Tracking some breaking news right now. In just the last hour, an ambulance involved in a serious crash. Fox 25 Sharday Gray just arrived near Southeast 44th and Eastern and is live with the details. Sharday.
Well, yeah, Maria, as you mentioned, we just got here, and it's still very active. Seeing this crash happen not too long ago, about an hour ago. The call came out around 8:30, but I want to step off to the side so you can see this scene. They have this blocked off. We're right here at Bryant near Southeast 44th. Now, IMSA unit was responding to a Code 3 call. Police tell us they had their lights and sirens on. They were crossing the intersection of Southeast 44th Street when a car failed to yield to them and hit the unit. That unit hit the curb and flipped on its side, and both workers were taken to the hospital. So were two people in the other vehicle. Now, one person from that other vehicle is in critical condition. And as I mentioned, we just got out here. We're trying to get some more information, but that's the information that we're able to gather right now. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated, both air and online, once we have that information. Back to you, Maria.
Thank you. This is a developing story, and of course you can tune in to Good Day OK starting at 5 a.m. for the newest information on this breaking news. California businessman Darrell Issa was elected to Congress in 2001, and over the years he's led many high-profile investigations into corruption and fraud. Now he's joining a growing list of key Republicans calling it quits. Issa recently sat down with Full Measure's Cheryl Atkinson for his exit interview.
Do you think party leaders exert too much control over members of Congress and over the agenda in a way that might be motivated by donations and corporate influence and special interests?
It happens every day that a lobbyist calls the majority leader, the minority leader, the speaker, and some chairman or ranking member gets a call saying, hey, go light on that. That kind of influence goes on.
So many fairly big-name Republicans seem to be bowing out. When Republicans at the same time control the House, the Senate, and the White House, isn't that unusual? Because normally for a party, that is the time when you can control the committees and the agenda on Capitol Hill.
Well, you really don't control the committees. More and more it's controlled out of the Speaker's office and out of the Minority Leader's office. You know, they pick who gets the committees, and then they pick really what you get to do. That's one of the things that's changing.
And that's behind ICE's biggest bone of contention.
The thing is, you can.
In 2014, House Speaker John Boehner took the Benghazi probe away from ICE's committee and handed it to Congressman Trey Gowdy, a popular former prosecutor.
Leadership trusted him to do the Russian investigation, trusted him to do just what they wanted on the Benghazi investigation, and trusted him to be chairman of oversight ahead of others who could have been.
Congressman Gowdy's office told us at no point did Speaker Boehner, Speaker Ryan, or anyone in leadership ever suggest a committee action or outcome. Reflections on the swamp. People say there's a swamp.
There is a swamp, and the swamp reflects the pressures that come into Washington. There's no cure for the swamp except more and more transparency.
At least 38 House Republicans have announced they're leaving their posts compared to 17 Democrats. Republican retirements include Trey Gowdy, who currently heads the House Oversight Committee. For Full Measure, I'm Cheryl Atkinson.
Big show coming up on Fox 25 Sports Sunday at 10 o'clock. Thunder had a game today against the Los Angeles Lakers, trying to get back on the winning track. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State both had big Big 12 games yesterday. And there's something called the Super Bowl. Yes, the football season has come to an end. We'll definitely get into the Super Bowl winner and what it means for the loser. That and more coming up at 10 o'clock on Fox 25 Sports Sunday. We'll be right back.
From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Primetime News at 9.
Airbus flying car took to the sky for the first time this week. The European plane manufacturer's prototype Vahana aircraft lifting off for the first time. The self-piloted aircraft climbed 16 feet in the air before returning to the ground after a 53-second trip. Airbus is aiming for the project to become the basis for a commercial passenger drone service in the near future.
And make sure you keep the heavy coats handy all week. It's going to feel like winter most of the time, especially tomorrow morning with those temperatures in the teens, only hitting the 40s tomorrow afternoon. And it's going to be really windy, so of course it's going to feel way colder. Here comes that winter precipitation on Tuesday. Now all that precipitation, the freezing rain, the sleet and the snow will be on the light side, so very light amounts, a low impact event, but you still have to give yourself plenty of extra drive time when you head out. Some slick spots for sure. So Wednesday, drying out, 40s and 50s and 60s, Thursday and Friday, and chilling back down, but dry next weekend.
And we can't leave without giving you a live look in Philadelphia right now, where fans are celebrating a Super Bowl win. You excited about this one?
I gotta say, I'm not disappointed with it. And I mean, that's such a big deal for that city. They have some amazing fans there. You would think half the city would not show up for work or school in the morning.
You know, police were greasing up all the poles in that city just in case they won, and they did, so nobody was climbing them. Well, the Eagles won the big game 41-33, a really great showing. Sports is next.
All right, and fresh off the top tonight, the Philadelphia Eagles winning their first ever Super Bowl with a 41-33 victory over the defending world champs, the New England Patriots. Game went down to the very last play. Couldn't have asked for a better game. We're going to get into it in Fox 25 Sports Sunday in a few minutes. Well, that 8-game win streak seems so far out of reach, doesn't it? Since then, the Oklahoma City Thunder have lost 3 in a row. Back at home today against the Los Angeles Lakers. Oklahoma City trying to bounce back after what's been a bit of a rough patch. Now, the Thunder have delivered a whooping to this team the last 2 meetings. We take you to the first quarter. Thunder down by 6, and Westbrook saying, "Get out the way," as he drives and slams it down. The Lakers, though, they shot well from downtown. Brook Lopez scoring 3 of his 20 points today. Lakers lead back to 6. Under 30 seconds to go in the half. Westbrook laying it in. 16 points at the break. Thunder down by 2. Paul George, he would get hot in the third. Oklahoma City trailing by 1. He scores from long range. Oklahoma City up. We go to the fourth, though. Los Angeles back up by 8, and Brandon Ingram blocking Carmelo Anthony's shot. Julius Randle on the other end with the dunk. Thunder down 10, but then OKC would go on a little run, down 6. PG, top of the key 3. So it's a one-possession ball game, but a little too late on this play. The ball goes out of bounds. Looks like it may have been last touched by the Lakers, but when it was reviewed, it was off of Steven Adams. So yes, the Thunder falling 108-104 at home. Oklahoma City has now lost 4 in a row. Westbrook led all scorers with 36. Paul George adding 26 points. Now the Thunder are now 1-4 in the absence of Andre Robertson. The schedule they have coming up, though, it's a bit of a tough one. You can see on Tuesday, the Thunder are going to visit the Warriors. Then on Thursday, they're facing the Lakers again on the road. Then they're back at home for the next 2 this coming Sunday. 1 week from today, they face the Grizzlies. Then Tuesday, February 13th, at home hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers.
A resilient bunch of guys who were shaken the other day and didn't play with this type of emotion and energy, but I knew that they were capable of it. And we visited, I think it was Thursday, and told me I'm not concerned. I know they'll respond the right way, but the win helps, right? It gives you a chance to continue to be competitive in the league, where we were starting to drift toward the bottom, and we want to try to build on it.
Well, that was a road win the Pokes desperately needed on their resume. Their first road win of the season, and to do it against Kansas, one of the arguably the toughest place to play on the road. It was an impressive victory. The Pokes win it 84-79. The first time Oklahoma State has won there since back in the 2012-2013 season when both Marcus Smart and Markel Brown played. Third home loss of the season for Kansas. Now for Oklahoma, it was a tough loss. Their first Red River Showdown of the season did not go as planned. Texas closing this one out on a 22-8 run to put a stamp on this game. Oklahoma losing 79-74. They've now lost their 5th straight road game. Now that win would have put them in a 3-way tie for first place, but they're going to be right back at it tomorrow night when they face West Virginia for big money. Here's a look at the updated Big 12 standings. Don't go anywhere. Travers Takes is next, followed by Fox 25 Sports Sunday.
Hi, everyone. Traber is out today. I am here. Congrats to all the Eagles fans out there, and much more in that incredible Super Bowl game later on Fox 25 Sports Sunday. But I want to talk about the big trade that happened earlier this week in the NBA and what it means for local guy Blake Griffin. Here's a hint. I don't think it's a bad thing. We'll do that after we hear from American Truck Training. The NBA trade deadline is coming up Thursday, and I'm guessing there will be several deals to go through. But I can't imagine there will be any move that will top the impact of the blockbuster that we saw on Monday of this past week, when Oklahoma City native and former Sooner star Blake Griffin got dealt from the LA Clippers to the Detroit Pistons. Now, of course, the first reaction by many is, man, that is cold-blooded by the team that just signed him for 5 years, $171 million. At which time they said, hey, Blake Griffin, Clipper for life. Well, apparently a lifetime in Clippers land means just 6 months. So, yeah, a little heartless and a little cold-blooded. And, yes, Detroit is colder than LA, but don't feel too bad for Blake Griffin. He's still getting that money. And while he will be a little further away from the show business aspect of his life that he has dabbled in, he will be closer to just concentrating on basketball. And I think that could be a good thing for Blake Griffin. I think he's going to flourish. So far, they are 2-0 with him. I think they're going to win some more.
Fox Sports Sunday, brought to you by American Leveling, the Hal Smith Restaurant Group, Pub W, The Garage, and American Truck Training.
Hands together for the new Piston to see number 23. This is Blake
Loop back around and never saw Malcolm Jenkins.
Underdogs no more. The Philadelphia Eagles are the Super Bowl champions.
And Nick Foles is your MVP, talking about going from a guy his last 2 games of the regular season to playing great. This is not Jim Traber, by the way. His hair is not nearly that long.
Haven't been on here. I haven't been on with you guys in a while.
You like the new digs? Or?
I do. Yeah, I was confused. I thought we were doing it over there. So.
No, we got the big set, the big news set, and we got Thunder today, and the football season's come to an end.
Hey, you know, Nick Foles, you mentioned him. Yeah, remember he played quarterback for Mike Stoops at Arizona. Mike Stoops is going to have a player win the Super Bowl either way because he also coached Rob Gronkowski. So there's a little side trivia. I don't know if it means anything, but
hey, here's the real story. If you're a Texas Longhorn fan, another quarterback from Austin, Texas, that the University of Texas did not recruit. That will be Nick Foles, who got things going with this touchdown pass to Alshon Jeffrey.
I mean, Alshon Jeffrey was a huge pickup for them, and he had a great game, but Nick Foles was on target from the get-go. I mean, I don't think he made many bad throws at all, Sam.
No, I thought it's so cool just about his story, how there was a point where, he was going to hang it up and quit. Then he decides to give it one last go at Philadelphia, and he really never flinched. I mean, you would never know what he was playing for in terms of the poise, the way he led the offense down the field. I mean, it was really impressive, and really the way the Eagles came to play today.
Brandon Cooks was done after this game. He quit. He got knocked out and did not return to the game. That was a weapon that Tom Brady didn't have. But the Eagles, they picked up, the running game.
LeGarrette Blount, former Patriot last year, along with Chris Long, guys who switched teams and won Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, and both offenses had a lot